What if the very things you believe are making you rich are actually keeping you poor? What if the house upgrade, the luxury car, the newest gadgets, and the endless stream of monthly payments are quietly stealing your future while convincing you that you are succeeding? Most people spend their entire lives chasing money without ever understanding how money truly works. They wake up early, work hard, collect a paycheck, pay bills, and repeat the cycle year after year. They believe that earning more income will solve their financial problems, yet many discover that higher income often leads to higher expenses and even greater financial pressure. The truth is that wealth is not created by how much money you make. Wealth is created by what you do with the money you keep. This simple idea has changed the lives of countless people, and it remains one of the most powerful lessons taught by Robert T. Kiyosaki. The difference between financial struggle and financial freedom often comes down to understanding one simple concept: assets versus liabilities. Most people never learn this distinction. Schools teach people how to work for money, but rarely teach people how to make money work for them. As a result, millions spend years buying things they believe are assets when those things actually take money out of their pockets every month. They become trapped in a cycle that feels normal because everyone around them is doing the same thing. Society encourages spending as a symbol of success. Expensive possessions are displayed as evidence of achievement. Yet beneath the surface, many of those possessions create financial burdens rather than financial freedom. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. The definition sounds almost too simple, yet its power is extraordinary. Imagine two people earning the same income. One spends most of that income on liabilities that require continuous payments, maintenance, and attention. The other consistently purchases assets that generate cash flow, appreciation, or future opportunities. At first, their lives may appear similar. They may live in the same neighborhood and drive similar cars. But as the years pass, a dramatic gap begins to form. One person becomes increasingly dependent on active work to survive. The other gradually builds a financial machine that produces income regardless of whether they are working. This difference is not determined by luck, intelligence, or family background. It is determined by financial habits repeated over time. Every dollar that enters your life represents a choice. You can spend it on something that consumes your future income, or you can direct it towards something that creates future income. The wealthy understand this principle deeply. They focus less on looking rich and more on becoming rich. They recognize that true wealth is invisible in the beginning. It is built quietly through disciplined decisions that may not impress anyone today, but can transform an entire future tomorrow. The challenge is that assets often require patience, while liabilities offer immediate gratification. Human nature is attracted to rewards that can be enjoyed instantly. Financial freedom, however, belongs to those who are willing to delay short-term pleasure in exchange for long-term abundance. The moment you understand this principle, you begin to see the world differently. And once you see it, it becomes impossible to ignore. As you begin examining your financial life through the lens of assets and liabilities, something surprising starts to happen. The purchases that once seemed harmless begin revealing a hidden cost. Every monthly payment tells a story. Every financial commitment quietly shapes the direction of your future. Many people spend years believing they are building wealth because they own expensive possessions. Yet their bank accounts remain under pressure, their debts continue growing, and their freedom becomes increasingly limited. This is where the financial journey becomes fascinating. The problem is rarely a lack of effort. Most people work incredibly hard. The real issue is the destination toward which their money is flowing. Imagine pouring water into a bucket with holes in the bottom. No matter how much water you add, the bucket never fills. In the same way, increasing income without controlling financial direction often leads to frustration rather than freedom. Many individuals receive raises, bonuses, and promotions, only to discover that their lifestyle expands just as quickly as their income. New expenses appear, new obligations emerge, new liabilities enter their lives disguised as rewards. The cycle feels productive because activity is taking place, but movement and progress are not the same thing. Then comes a moment that changes everything. It is a moment many never experience because they are too distracted by appearances. It begins with a simple question. What if the path everyone is following is leading in the wrong direction? This question creates discomfort because it challenges beliefs that may have existed for decades. Suddenly, financial success is no longer measured by visible possessions, but by invisible cash flow. A person driving a modest vehicle may be financially stronger than someone driving a luxury car. A small investment producing income every month may be more valuable than an expensive item admired by others. This realization feels almost unbelievable at first because it contradicts the messages constantly promoted by society. Yet history repeatedly shows that many self-made millionaires focus on acquiring assets long before they focus on displaying wealth. Here is where the suspense begins. Most people are only a few decisions away from dramatically changing their financial future, but they do not know it. They continue moving forward without realizing they are standing near a doorway that could alter the course of their lives. The difference often comes down to where the next dollar goes. That single dollar may appear insignificant, but multiplied across years, it becomes a force capable of transforming destiny. Consider what happens when money consistently purchases assets that generate income. Those assets begin producing additional cash. That cash can purchase more assets. The process repeats. Gradually, a system develops. The system grows stronger than personal effort alone because it creates momentum. This is the secret many people overlook. Wealth is not simply accumulated. Wealth is engineered. It is constructed piece by piece through intentional choices that may seem small in the moment, but become extraordinary over time. The truly remarkable part is that this process is available to almost anyone willing to learn, adapt, and think differently. Yet most people never reach this stage because they remain trapped by habits that feel comfortable. The greatest obstacle is not a lack of money. The greatest obstacle is the inability to recognize the difference between something that looks valuable and something that actually creates value. Once this distinction becomes clear, an entirely new financial world begins to emerge. The journey toward financial freedom does not begin when you earn a fortune. It begins the moment you decide to think differently about the money already passing through your hands. Every millionaire who built lasting wealth eventually discovered that financial success is not a destination reached through luck, but a process guided by principles. The principle is simple: acquire assets, reduce unnecessary liabilities, and allow time to work in your favor. At first, the results may appear small. The first asset may generate only a modest return. The first investment may seem insignificant compared to the size of your financial goals. The temptation to quit may arise because modern culture celebrates instant results. Yet the most powerful forces in finance are often invisible during the early stages. Just as a tree spends years developing roots before displaying its full strength above the ground, wealth develops beneath the surface before it becomes visible to the world. This is why patience is one of the greatest financial advantages a person can possess. The individual who consistently redirects money from liabilities toward assets begins creating a future that looks entirely different from the average path. Instead of accumulating obligations, they accumulate opportunities. Instead of becoming a servant to monthly payments, they gradually build sources of income that serve them. This transformation is not merely financial, it is psychological. Confidence grows because dependence decreases. Choices expand because options increase. Fear loses its grip because preparation replaces uncertainty. The person who understands assets and liabilities no longer sees money as something to spend immediately. They see money as a worker that can be sent out into the world to bring back more workers. Over time, this mindset creates an extraordinary shift. Financial freedom stops being a dream and starts becoming a measurable reality. The lessons shared by Robert T. Kiyosaki continue inspiring millions because they challenge conventional thinking and encourage individuals to take responsibility for their financial education. The world will always offer countless ways to spend money, but only a few ways to make money grow. Those who learn the difference gain an advantage that compounds year after year. Imagine where your life could be 5 years from now if every financial decision were guided by a single question. Does this put money into my pocket or take money out of my pocket? That one question has the power to change habits, redirect priorities, and reshape an entire future. The path may not always be easy. There will be distractions, temptations, and moments of doubt. Yet every great achievement begins with awareness. Once you recognize the difference between assets and liabilities, You possess knowledge that can influence every financial decision you make from this day forward. The formula is not complicated, but its impact can be extraordinary. Build assets, strengthen cash flow, exercise patience, continue learning, allow discipline to become stronger than impulse. As the years pass, the results of those choices may surprise even you. What begins as a simple adjustment in thinking can evolve into a life of greater freedom, security, opportunity, and purpose. The future belongs to those who understand that true wealth is not measured by what they own, but by what continually works for them behind the scenes. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.